Hello, my name is Ray Salazar. And this is Morning Real, 3 to 4 to 100 minute or so podcast of films that I review, all nationalities from 1952 to 2023. You name it, I review it. Today I'm going to talk about Princess Mononoke. This film came out in 1997, directed by Hayao Miyazaki and animated by Studio Ghibli. These guys are legends. They've produced one of the most beautiful animated films, in filmmaking, period. Most of it's hand drawn. A lot of the early films are pretty much hand drawn, but this film in particular, Princess Mononoke, came out in 97, implemented 3D animation. It's already applied onto its usual traditional hand drawn animation. This film, like every other film in the Miyazaki universe, deals with environmentalism. It deals with humanity and how humanity plays a huge role and a crucial role in how we treat our environment, how we treat our planet, how we treat our people, period. Because even by treating other human beings, other species, it's very important that stuff like that helps contribute the earth. Because if we can't cooperate with one another, how can we fix things, right? And it's not like the film deals with that exactly. This film is an adventure film. It's a fantasy film too. It's about this prince who witnessed a devilish, oversized boar that in their universe is considered a godlike creature, you know, or a god of sorts in a certain type of species. I don't know. It's very complex, this film, because the characters are complex, both human characters and other species, other like gods, quote unquote, characters are complex all on its own. And it's crazy how a film like this that is only like 133 minutes, which is roughly around 2 hours or so, a little bit more than that, can give us something to really like think about when it comes to like our environment, how we treat each other, what's really good for us, And humans in this film are consuming the earth. They're ruining it by cutting forests down to made into lumber, to made into firewood, to help our industry. And in that period of time, especially in the film, iron. There's a town where people are making iron. And not only are they making iron, they constantly need to be burning flame, you know? And this, we're talking like 1300 AD and stuff like that, where like there was no machinery like that back then that could like constantly sustain heat or fire for that matter. People actually had to like literally do it, and people play a large role in this film where they're contributing to their town, where they have to like work constantly almost day and night to basically keep a town running, to keep a civilization going, and to advance it at the same time, because this town is headed by Lady Iboshi, who's pretty much like the president of that town. She's general, she is the mayor. It's, some might say that she's a slave owner of sorts, because she has people working, under her, and obviously like there is a contrast of class too, like Lady Eboshi, she's rich, you know, she has her own staff, her own personal staff. She tells people what to do, I mean, it's respectful, but she tells people what to do, and then to the lowest sector of the town is basically like just regular like town folk, like ranch folk, farm folk, who are making sure this fire is always constant, always going to never be put out, no matter what, And honestly, they do a pretty good job at it. And to be honest, if this is their way of living, they don't mind doing it because they have a place to stay, they have food, they have resources, they have families, they got a roof over their heads, in some ways, you can say that they got it going. All they got to do is just kind of keep everything going, no matter what. Yeah, Prince Ashitaka, who witnessed this devil godlike boar being infected, and things are just happening between the realm of nature and humanity, where Lady Eboshi wants to make a deal with the emperor to, expanding her land, expanding her reach of basically of who she is. She's a leader. She wants to kind of like take over the world in a sense, and why not? Because there's everybody else trying to do it. Why not her do it, right? And one way to do it is to kill a god. It's not as easy as it sounds. And obviously, there are consequences to trying to kill a god, per se. Things that could basically reverse the earth, to reverse how nature works, period. And we get to see destruction that is just so beautifully drawn by the Studio Ghibli people, man. Like, when you watch this film, we all know that it's hand drawn, but they're just details that honestly, it's just different if like DreamWorks would have animated pure 3D, or if Disney tried to hand draw it. Then this came out in 1997. Like, if Disney were to do it, obviously it would look so different. But honestly, it just wouldn't look right. You know, Miyazaki knows how this film should look, and it looks so good, man. The way water is drawn, the way a stream is drawn, the way riding horseback through valleys and parts of forests that looks seamless. That looks like it just looks so easy when you know it's not, man. And even the cinematography for it is almost impeccable, dude. This film is honestly a beauty to watch. There's just so much attention to detail. You got to give it up to Miyazaki, straight up. Got to give it to his people. I can't imagine anybody else doing it. He wrote a story about environmentalism, how we should save the planet, how we should maintain it. There's all these people trying to take over, and by taking over, they got to kill certain things, and by killing that, you're just killing nature. They do it so well. What I love about it, too, is the third act. Things pay off, and we see destruction, and it's not pretty. People die. The nature dies. The forest sort of tries to die. And the only way to restore it is to give something back. And it's crazy. Like, we're taking and taking and taking, especially as a society. Even in the film, people like Ashitaka, San, they want to restore things. They want to they want a balance, you know? San actually is very much more of a character who is aggressive, very conservative, but the values are there, and it's to basically maintain what she grew up in, and like, she didn't have parents, her parents were these god wolf creatures, which again, so beautifully drawn, voiced very good. Oh, and also I saw it in Japanese. And it's funny, throughout my time watching this film, because I didn't see it in one sitting, I sometimes watched it in Japanese and then continued in English and then continued in Japanese. And you see these differences of like how the actors portray these characters, how they put their voice in these characters, and honestly, each has its own merits, each has its own taste, and obviously, like, one sounds better over the other. I mean, even the subtitles in like reading the English subtitles in Japanese are pretty good. They are very effective the way they're describing the dialogue. Obviously in English, the way the actors would act these words out are far more direct. And as they are far more direct, they don't seem that effective, It's hard to do that. This film, as far as like the English version is concerned, is honestly it matches the Japanese, but only so far, I feel like the Japanese version is superior. Especially, I mean, I don't understand Japanese language, man, but you can feel the aggression. You can feel the emotions that these characters are putting out. You can honestly absorb this film, and if a foreign film can do that to you, it's automatically a great film. It really is. You know, I like how these characters come together as opposed as they are, as killers as they are to some. Eventually they come together and they give back. Finally they give back. And it's hard to give back to the earth when we're just so consumed by what's immediately surrounding us. Like, how am I going to feed my kids? How are we going to keep this town alive? How are we going to defend ourselves from other groups of people? It's real, you know, it's real. I like how realistic it could be. And that's all I want from a film. And this film delivers it. I hadn't seen it since I was 7 years old. And to see it again, especially as an adult, I can totally appreciate it. I commend anybody to see this film. Please watch this film. Let me give credits real quick. Directed and written by Hayao Miyazaki. Produced by Toshio Suzuki. Starring Yoji Matsuda, Yoriko Ishida, Yuko Tanaka, Kaoru Kobayashi, Masahiko Nishimura, Tsuneiko Kamiho, Akihiro Miwa, Mitsuko Mori, and Isaya Morishinga. Cinematography by Atsushi Okui, edited by Takeshi Sayama, music by Joe Hisaishi, and obviously the production company is Studio Ghibli. Distributed by Toho, came out in 97. It was a box office hit. Follow me on Morning Shot Films, IG and YouTube. Subscribe to my YouTube. Check out my website, morningshotfilms.co. I got merch out. I got ornaments. It's Christmas season. If you want to add some heavy metal, some black metal, some death metal ornaments style in your Christmas tree, check out the High Hungry Spatter ornament. Check it out. You might want one. You might cop two. It will make a great gift for Christmas. I cannot fathom it more than enough. Thank you.